This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And on this birthday boy, February 17th, is Lucky Luc Robitaille. I know the picture looks bad, and I should be having him in either the LA Kings jerseys with the silver black of the 90s or those weird ones with the crest in 1990 on the 2000s. But Luc Robitaille is an LA Kings legend, and a lot of people like the purple and gold, kind of inspired by Laker colors. So Luc Robitaille is the president of the LA Kings. He is now 55 years old. In his 19-year season, he won a Stanley Cup in 2002 with the Rangers. He also played for the Penguins and Rangers, but is known for his 14 seasons over 3 stints with the LA Kings. He was the captain in 1993 while Wayne Gretzky was injured, and the final few games of the 2006 season. He retired after the 2006 season, so the highest scoring left winger in NHL history and holder of several Kings records. Luc was drafted in the ninth round, 171st overall. Many experts said that he has poor skating ability. And it's like he played for the Hall Olympique. Well, Hall's now called Gatineau, by the way, the Quebec Junior League, and he did pretty well for himself. He was named Canadian Hockey League Player of the Year. That's the major junior thing. 191 points in 85-86. In fact, he has a trophy named after him by the Quebec Major League. It's to the team that scores the most goals each season. Amazing. I like it. So anyway, Robitaille had only contact with one NHL team during his junior career, the Kings. He actually attended the 84 draft in the stands and introduced himself to GM Rocky Fachon. So he and Dave Taylor are the lowest NHL draft players to get 1,000 career points. Ironically enough, in the 1984 draft, the Kings actually drafted Tom Glavine in the 4th round. And yes, Tom Glavine was a hockey player. People forget that he was a hockey player up in Massachusetts, and he could have played in the NHL. But good news for Braves fans and them that Glavine chose baseball over hockey. Robitaille's first NHL season was the 86-87 season. He actually won the Calder Trophy, beating out the legendary Ron Hextall for top rookie. He's the only King to ever win the Calder Trophy. He scored 45 goals in his. But here's the thing about Robitaille. He scored 40 goals in each of his first 8 seasons, including 3, which he had plus 50 plus. In 93, he set the record for most goals and points by a left winger in history. 63 goals, 125 assists. 125 points, pardon. However, Robitaille's goal record was eclipsed by Alex Ovechkin in 2008. He still holds the record for most points in a season by a left winger. That's good. With Gretzky hurt due to injury, Robitaille became captain and led the team in scoring, helping the Kings make the playoffs. That 93 playoff run will be something I'm sour at, mostly because, as a Leaf fan, you have to sour at. The 93 team shocked Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal in order. And I believe they're the only team in NHL history to actually face 4 Canadian teams in 4 playoff rounds. That is fucking amazing. And the Kings reached the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in history in 93. The Habs beat them in 5 games, although some people said if it wasn't for McSorley's illegal stick, the Kings might have shocked the Canadians. But a lot of Canadian hockey fans said it better go to Montreal. I mean, come on, it's the 100th anniversary of the NHL, and it goes to a Canadian. Unfortunately, though, we sold our soul to the Devils. No Canadian NHL team has won since 93. Love you. Robitaille had problems. The Kings missed the playoffs. And then in the 94 offseason, he was traded to Pittsburgh in exchange for Rick Tocchet and the Penguins' second-round pick, which actually was not good because the Kings took Pavel Rosa, who wasn't really that good. Robitaille wasn't doing that well for himself. He only spent 1 season in Pittsburgh before traded to the New York Rangers for Peter Nevin and Sergei Zubov. Well, that trade was Robitaille and Ulf Samuelsson. Why the hell did the Rangers pick up Ulf Samuelsson? He's a goon. To the Rangers for Peter Nevin and Sergei Zubov. Sacrilege, because the Rangers didn't really have a good scoring defenseman other than Frank Leach for years. and Peter Nedved. Of course, Peter Nedved was traded from St. Louis to the Rangers because of Mike Keaton leaving the Rangers for the Blues, and Nedved was made compensation. Poor Nedved, he moved around so much. Robitaille had below average numbers and all that. But in '97, LA got a new GM, which was Dave Taylor, part of the Triple Crown line, and it's a former teammate of Robitaille. His first major move was to get Robitaille back, so they traded Kevin Stevens to New York for Robitaille, which was kind of a big mistake because Kevin Stevens had his alcohol issues with the Rangers. Robitaille struggled in his first season back, only scoring 16 goals in an injury-shortened season. However, Robitaille came back into form and scored his 500th career goal in 1999 against the Sabres. In 2001, he actually surged to an 88-point season and helped the Kings shock the Red Wings, who everyone thought were going to be the Stanley Cup contender of the Western Conference. LA almost took down Colorado in the Stanley Cup quarterfinals, or the conference semis, if you will, losing in Game 7. Phillips Potvin somehow was keeping that series. Robitaille was made second-team All-Star. Robitaille turned down a deal with a pay cut. And then Detroit signed him to a 2-year, $9 million contract, accepting less compensation than what other teams offered because the Red Wings represented his best chance of winning the Stanley Cup. So basically, he left some money on the table that he could have had with other teams. But anyway, he thought Detroit would win the Stanley Cup. And he scored 30 goals and helped them win the President's Trophy. Robitaille didn't really have a lot of play of ice time due to the tremendous depth of scorers. But he did score 4 playoff goals, which isn't bad. The Red Wings went to the Stanley Cup Finals and took care of Carolina in 5 games. It could have been Detroit or Toronto, just saying. But anyway, Robitaille finally got it. Robitaille was the third Red Wing to hoist the cup. Yzerman as captain, who gave it to Hasek, who never experienced the Stanley Cup and was a legend. And then Robitaille was the next guy in line. Robitaille was made a free agent in the 2004 season, 03-04 season, but he went back to LA. He actually led the team in goals and points, despite only scoring 22 goals, 51 points. The Kings were in playoff contention, but they lost 11 straight to finish the season. Robitaille got his 1,000th game as a King in 2004. Robitaille scored a big hat trick against the Atlanta Thrashers, which passed Marcel Dionne's Kings record of 550 goals. It was amazing. But Robitaille said he would retire in the 2006 season. He actually wore the captaincy that was supposed to go to Nordstrom, the defenseman. But anyway, the fans gave him a speech and all of that. What was weird, his last game was in San Jose, and basically San Jose fans were welcoming of him and all that. So, he made 8 NHL teams. He set the NHL record for goals by a left winger, which I believe is passed by Ovi, if memory serves me right. Well, anyway, 668 goals and 113.94 points. So as the Kings record for goals, 577. He ended up second in games played with the Kings behind Dave Taylor. 4th in assists behind Dion, Gretzky, and Taylor. Second in NHL records for assists by a left winger, 813, behind Johnny Busick. And second in Dion in points by a King, 1,154 points. So his number 20 hung for the Raptors for the first time in 2007. Robitaille was made a Hockey Hall of Fame member in 2009. Ironically, he was inducted alongside 2 other Red Wings of the 2002 team, Yzerman and Hall. Robitaille won 2 cup rings as president of operations with the Kings, of course, for 2012-2014. And yes, he has a bronze statue of himself outside the Staples Center. Luc Robitaille also co-founded the nonprofit charity Shelter for Serenity because of families displaced by Hurricane Katrina, and for his help with needy children in the LA area. all that. Robitaille was actually in the movie Set in Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Robitaille was in D2 The Mighty Ducks. And he made a famous cameo of himself in the 8th season of How I Met Your Mother, in the episode that they find Barney goes to Canada and finds out that after breaking through Robin's journal, saw an entry saying, P.S. I love you, P.S. I love you, P.S. I love you. And goes to Canada to find out. And then finds out that there's a videotape of Robin's career underneath the tunes, which was the Canadian parody of Behind the Music. And Robitaille makes a cameo in it and actually says that he ended up listening to Sandcastles in the Sand or something like that. I don't know what the song was, but basically a Robin Sparkles song. And they showed him scoring a goal. He says, I listen to Sandcastles in the Sand. I get a good cry on. I'm not ashamed. And then when they said every Canadian can tell you when Robin Sparkles became Robin Daggers, that they can tell you where they were, but which Tim Hortons and what they ate. I forgot Robitaille, but I know he's at Victoria del Quebec because that's where he's from. And I think it was sour cream or something plain. Sour cream, I think it was Robitaille. So yeah, hard to believe. Yeah, I like that one. He's married. He has 2 sons, Stephen and Jesse. Robitaille's stepson. Oh, they have 2 sons. Well, their first son was from his wife's first marriage. Robitaille's stepson is actually a grandson of Steve McQueen, and actually was in the Vampire Diaries. Wow, Stephen Chadwick McQueen. I didn't know that. Robitaille became a U.S. citizen. But for Canada, like, he didn't do much for Canada internationally. But what people forget that in 1994 at the World Championships, Canada had never won a World Championship for 33 years. It was basically the one trophy that Canada won it with the Stanley Cup. Luc Robitaille was the hero in the championship final against Finland, as he scored that shootout and all that. Robitaille beat Jarmo Malaise. Bill Ranford then made a big save off of, I forget, Nakwa, I think it was. I don't know who it was. But Ranford made the save and Canada finally won the World Championship for the first time in 33 years. It was just amazing. So anyway, Robitaille's final marks, 1,394 points in 114-31 games, 127 playoff points and 159 attempts. The Calder, the All-Rookie Team 8-inch All-Star games, Stanley Cup champion, and his number 20 is retired by the LA Kings. He is very underrated. And screw Alex Ovechkin. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adu.